Welcome to your motorhome for 6-person economy. I'm going to show you how to operate the car in a small walkthrough video, and I hope that it helps. First of all, you have here the diesel. The car takes diesel. You shouldn't miss that with this sticker. You open it up with this, with your finger over here, and then you have the big key, the same as for the ignition, to open up the cap. The handbrake is on the left side, not the right side. It works like a normal handbrake. The only difference is that it's on the left, not the right. Lights are mandatory in Iceland, day and night. Every time you drive, you have to have them turned on. And you turn them on with this switch over here. 0 means off, and then you flick it to turn it on. Every time you drive, you have to turn them on, and every time you stop, obviously you turn them off. Everything else here in the front is normal. Going down this way, this is where you fill up your water. This is the drinking water for the sink and the shower. And you simply screw this guy out, you put a hose in there, and when it starts spitting out water, it's full. Easy as that. You can refill this on all of the campsites in Iceland and on some of the gas stations. In here is the favorite part of the holiday. Who gets to empty the toilet cassette? You can also empty this on all of the campsites and some of the gas stations. And you simply pull this guy out. Some of the boxes you can pull straight out, and some of them have a leverage here underneath that you need to pull up. You take it out, you take this nozzle here to the side, open it up, and then you dump it on the designated area. Our recommendation is that every time you leave a campsite, you empty the cassette and you fill up the water. Just makes it easier and you're good to go. Back here is the big door for the luggage storage. If you want to travel with your horses, you can keep them in here because you have plenty of storage. I use the small key for all the compartments on the outside, and as you can see, it's quite big. Here is also the spare wheel. The tools for the tire changing you'll find under the passenger seat in the front. Some of the cars have a spare wheel, other ones have a pump and go system. Spare wheel will be found here, pump and go will be found in the doors in the front. The passenger seat or the driver's seat. The pump and go system, it makes you or inflates your tire just so that you can drive to the next garage to get the tire fixed, but we all know how a spare wheel works. On the other side, you have the same big door, and here is where you find your cable for charging the vehicle. You have this end going into the car, and some of the campsites they offer you an outlet like this, and the other ones they offer you a normal EU plug. You have an adapter on the cable, so you choose what to use. And there is a door here coming from the inside, so you can access your luggage through that door. Quite handy. Over here, this is a filter for the heating. The heating of the car on the inside is done with propane gas, and this guy filters out the carbon, puts it outside, and the warm air goes inside. So when you turn on the heater and it's taking a long time to get warm and you're not sure, you can always come out here and listen, because this will make a oohing sound like brrr. And if that sound is on, everything's fine, just give it some time. If not, you give us a call. Here is the plug for the cable that you saw in the back, and you plug the car in on the campsites. We always recommend that you do that overnight, because all the EU plugs on the inside of the car, they only work when this cable is plugged in. You can go through a night just on the batteries, no worries, but our recommendation is that you plug it in. And I have a cable here to show you how to use it. You simply put it on the end, push it all the way in, And when you're taking it off, don't just pull the wires, pull this, blah, blah, blah. Be gentle with it and try to juggle it off, like that. Otherwise you might rip the wires out, and that's no fun to have on your holiday. On here, inside this small door here, you have the propane gas tank. You use the propane for heating the car, heating the water, for cooking with the stove, and you can also use it for the refrigerator. So this is your most valuable player. In here you see the propane tank, and it's a normal tank. It has this open and close nozzle on the top, and before you try to use the heating of the water, heating of the car, the stove or the refrigerator, you have to be careful to open this all the way up. Usually this has been lasting people 4 to 5 days during the travels, and you can buy a refill for the propane gas tank on the next gas station. The best way to check the level of it is to shake the bottle, put your flashlight up against the windows on the tank, and then you can see where the line wobbles. Pretty straightforward. Just remember to turn it on and keep an eye on the level of it. You don't want to run out of propane during the night in Iceland. Just here below is the grey water handle. This handle over here. Grey water is the wastewater from the sink and the shower, and this you can empty on the campsites, and you simply pull the leverage out to open the grey water and push it in to close it. But you have to do this in special areas on the campsites, and it's always good to do that when you leave a campsite, same as the toilet and the water. So go inside we go. First thing I want to show you is the control panel here. This controls all the electricity inside the motorhome. I'm going to turn it off all the way just to show you. I hold the check button in. You can see the light come boom, 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 and it's off. No lights on. So I turn it on again with this same button. It lights up and shows me this light over here. This button here is for the lights on the inside. This is for the water pump. So if you want to use the sink or the showers or even flushing the toilet, you have to turn this on. And this one here is for the light on the outside. This light here is on because the car is plugged in and is charging, and you can see it here on the batteries that it's charging. If I want to check the level of the batteries, I can press this button here once. It shows me battery 2, it's charging. I press it again, it shows me battery 1, it's full. Also when you do this, it shows you the drinking water level from 0 to 100%. So just by pressing this guy once, shows you the level of battery and the water. Press it again to see the other battery. R1 and R2 are the wastewater tanks or the grey water tanks, and you empty that with a handle that I showed you earlier. Behind you over here, above the driver and the passenger, is the double bed, and there is a ladder that goes up to it. Also here is the refrigerator. You can make the refrigerator cold on 3 sources: on propane gas, on the battery, or on the plug-in. The propane gas, obviously you have to have the tank open like I showed you earlier. If you want to run it on the battery, the car needs to be running, and for the plug-in to work you have to be plugged into electricity with the cable that I showed you earlier. So if I want to turn it on, I hold the power button in until this light lights up. I hold it in, it lights up, and right now it's on the propane function on level 5. If I want to change it, I hold the gray button inside until it starts blinking on the source, like that. Then I can move it over to battery, or I can move it over to plug-in. Let's say I want to choose the propane. Okay, I press the gray button once, then it shows me the level of coldness, 5 being the coldest, and I can control that with the arrows. And let's say I want it on 5, I press the gray once. It's gonna be steady for a little bit, then this screen turns off, but you can see on the power button it's indicating that it's turned on. This always goes black like that, but the light is on over here. Here is the kitchen table and this is also where you can make your third bed. You have to take the kitchen table and lift it up to be able to get it off the leverage, and then you have the table foot here, and there is a click button here on the side. You click that and fold it, and then you take the table off and you put it on the leverage that you see down there. Put that there, put the cushions over and go to bed. Over here is the stove. This works like a normal barbecue. You simply press this down until you hear the rustle, and then you ignite it with a lighter in the drawer over here. Yeah, pretty straightforward. But you also need the propane tank to be open to be able to use this. This sink over here, normal thing, just have to have the water pump turned on the control panel to be able to use it. And then you have this EU plug that you see over here to charge your phone or your tablets, and the cable on the outside needs to be plugged in to electricity on the campsite for this to work. On here, this is the heating control, and basically everything you do with this guy needs propane, so be careful that you have enough propane and the propane tank is open. You have two discs, the outer disc controlling the fan speed from 1 to 5, and then the inner disc controlling what you're doing. And there is a small leverage over here that shows you where you are. Right now I'm on the 0, and if I go down one time to the flame, that means I'm heating the car on the inside. If I go down, and you can see here it lights up on 5, that's because I'm on level 5. I can lower it down to 3, 2, 1, whatever I want. But going down to the flame and the 60 degrees like that, that means I'm heating the car on the inside, and I'm also heating the water to 60 degrees. And then going back upwards to the 0, and if I go to 40 or 60 up here, I'm only heating the water to 40 degrees and only heating the water to 60 degrees. It's always best when you start this up to have it on level 5 and then lower it down. The reason why you want to have it on 5 is just to get it going, and then you lower it down if it's getting too warm. Behind you over here is the double bed, and there is a ladder that goes up to this as well. Simply hang it on these guys here and you walk up. This is a door going back to the luggage storage if you want to access your luggage. And in here is the toilet. The toilet works like a normal toilet. The only difference is that you have this handle here, and this handle opens and closes the toilet cassette. So when you're going to use the toilet, you have to open it so that everything you do in the toilet goes into the cassette but not on top of it. And then when you're done, be careful to close it. Because if you drive with the toilet open, you might have a poop gum coming up here, and it's not pleasant, I promise you. The blue button here is to flush it. The water pump on the dashboard or the control panel for the electricity needs to be turned on if you want to be able to flush it. And then here where I'm standing is the shower. There's a sink here, and simply pull the sink out and move it up here to be able to take a shower. I think that's about it. And you also have the information manual for further information, and you're always welcome to give us a call if there are any hiccups. Hope you have a good time. Thank you very much.